Welcome to SciTech Info, dear UPSC, TNPSC, NEET and JEE aspirants and school and college students.
Today, let us discuss about solubility product. Solubility product is simply represented. Before coming to the topic, let me explain about the solubility. What do you mean by solubility? So, this is the term applicable for the precipitate and saturated solutions. You can have saturated solution, unsaturated solution, and precipitate, then a supersaturated solution. Here, the solubility, this is the term applicable for sparingly soluble salt. What is that? Sparingly soluble salt. This is the term applicable for sparingly soluble salt. What do you mean by sparingly soluble salt? Let me consider that is sodium chloride versus barium sulfate. Barium sulfate is a precipitate, whereas sodium chloride is a solution. When it dissolves in water, it's completely dissolved, right? So we can make use of the concentration for working out the problems based on ionic equilibrium of low mass action. And in this case, barium sulfate. So when you are taken in a container or a beaker and you try to dissolve barium sulfate, since it is sparingly soluble, there will be two portions. One is some soluble salt, another portion is insoluble salt. So it's a blend of both. So when you consider the concentration, you have to consider only the dissolved part, so the soluble part, and that's why we take this as the soluble part of barium sulfate. Is it clear? Soluble part of barium sulfate. Now let us look into the theoretical aspect. For example, let us give a particular salt XmYn. So XmYn means M and M, they represent the atomicity. What do you mean by atomicity? For example, let me consider barium chloride, BaCl2. Okay, so the atomicity of barium is 1. How many atoms are present in that molecule? And the chlorine is 2. Let me consider H2SO4. What is the atomicity of hydrogen? 2. What is the atomicity of sulfur? 1. What is the atomicity of oxygen? 4. What is the atomicity of sulfuric acid? You have to add everything. So 2 plus 1, 3 plus 4, 7. Do you understand this? Okay. What is the atomicity of silver nitrate? AgNO3. Right?
5.
So 5. What is the atomicity of oxygen in silver nitrate? 3. What is the atomicity of nitrogen
1.
in AgNO3? 1. I hope that point is clear. So let me consider in the case of, that is a ferric oxide. Okay, let me consider ferric oxide. So what is ferric oxide? Fe2O3. So when it is ionized, when we write this in an ionized form, we can write like this. That is, oxidation state of iron is +3 and oxidation state of oxygen is -2. Are you able to follow? So how we write? In lower classes, you would have studied about the crisscross method. So Fe has the 3 valency, oxygen has 2 valency. So you have got what? That is 2 atoms of Fe with the valency +3. Do you understand? And plus, what about this? 3 atoms of oxygen, 3 oxygen, so 3O2 minus. Now when you calculate the ion, 2 3s are 6, 3 2s are 6. Okay? In this case, we have 2 moles of Fe3 plus, and this is called molar coefficient. Okay, we have 2 moles of Fe3 plus ion, 3 moles of O2 minus ion. So when you work out the net charge, it becomes 2 3s are 6, 3 2s are minus 6. So 6 minus 6 cancel, and that is why this is neutral. Do you understand? Right. So this is the way you can write. Instead of putting 2 and 3, I have taken some common aspect, x, m. What do you understand from this? This is atomicity of what? X. N means this is the atomicity of Y. So this is available as solid. When it is dissolved in water, it becomes a solution. So these ions are available, but they are available as a doublet, that is as a pair, ionic pair. It cannot split immediately unless otherwise we influence with some electrolysis or complete ionization. Okay, so here what you are supposed to do, m moles, because m moles are there, so m moles of x, but that will have the valency n, so I have put n plus. Do you understand? Similar to this, just compare. You can also make a note of this. And plus n moles of naturally m minus, so like 2 minus. Okay, so this is the general format for the ionization of any salt. Now let us apply law of mass action. So according to law of mass action, K is equal to the product of the concentration of the product divided by the product of the concentration of the reactants. So how many products are there? X and Y, 2 products. And how about reactant? There is only one reactant. So you have 2 products and X and Y. So X n plus concentration power m, Y m minus concentration power n. So in this case, actually this is not concentration, you have to call it active mass. So this active mass is directly proportional to you can say the concentration, and you have to introduce a proportionality constant. You can take that is alpha, degree of dissociation. So it is equal to C alpha, and that is why active mass is equal to C alpha. That is the concentration, and that concentration is represented as a square bracket here. And you may ask me, what about alpha? Alpha is nothing but degree of dissociation. So in the case of C alpha, alpha is the degree of dissociation. So here C alpha means alpha is 1 in the case of what? Strong electrolytes. And that is why directly we take concentration term. In case of weak electrolyte, we have to consider alpha also. For example, acetic acid, ammonium chloride, ammonium hydroxide, these are all weak electrolyte. But what you are supposed to do? Suppose if it is sparingly soluble salt, so what term should be taken? You have to consider only solubility. So you can simply represent by S. Do you understand this? Okay, so in this case, so this is called KSP. For example, this is the salt. Okay, active mass of salt is always 1. Is it not? Because if it is not dissolved, means you need not worry, only sparingly soluble salt. So you have to consider the soluble portion only. So which are the soluble portion? Ionic ions are ionic entities are the soluble portion. So we consider only the numerator and neglect the denominator, because active mass of any solid is taken as 1, because that is why we have put S, whereas this is aqueous. Okay, if it is solid, there is no question of ions, so you can put 1 for this. So I have taken 1, and you can remove this, so you can consider only the numerator, and these parts are solubility products. Okay, and that is why it's called KSP, solubility product. So this is S and this is also S. Okay, and it depends. For example, if it is a barium chloride, so S squared, and this is S, so S cube it comes. Okay, so simply speaking, solubility of KSP of, let us consider barium sulfate. In both the cases, it is 1 only. You can equate it. So in that case, that is barium sulfate. So yes, and this is also yes. So S into S, S square. Got it? In the case of aluminum hydroxide, let us consider aluminum hydroxide. Okay. Aluminum hydroxide, it's also called aludrox. In fact, is a very good base, and that is used for treating acidity of stomach. For example, in our stomach we have got a HCl. When there is any, excess HCl, what happens here? We can neutralize with some base, and the base we take is aluminum oxide, hydroxide. It's also called aludrox. Okay, so this is, and that is why you would have seen this Digel gel, Gelusil gel. So all these contain such type of aluminum hydroxide. Okay, and you would have seen that is a syrupy liquid, something like a precipitate, like a gel, is it not? So it means only a part quantity is ionized here. You should consider only that ionized, that soluble part. So in that case, aluminum part is S, hydroxyl part is 3 times. So you can put S cube. Are you able to understand? So what is the KSP of aluminum? That is a hydroxide, that is S power 4. So likewise we have to proceed. Okay, right. Now you may ask me, sir, what is the use? What are the uses, applications of solubility product? In fact, when solubility product, that is ionic product, is greater than solubility product, then precipitation will occur. And the solution is supersaturated. When the ionic product is less than KSP, then no precipitation and the solution is unsaturated. Okay? Ionic product is equal to KSP, solubility product, means equilibrium exists and the solution is saturated. So likewise, based on the solubility, we can classify this. And not only that, this KSP increases with increase of temperature. You can make a note of it. So KSP increases with increase of temperature, because the solubility increases with the increase of temperature. Okay, and that is why when ionic product increases KSP, that is precipitation will occur. Got this point?